Hey everyone! Welcome to another episode of Transformation Time. Every Thursday, I host an episode of either Transformation Time or REI Behind the Scenes. My name is Diana Lizarazo, and today's guest speaker is Sergio Amatller. Now, before we get started, I want to share some exciting news with you. I have a social networking platform for the real estate investing industry. If you are an investor, if you are a mentor or a professional, this is the platform that you want to be on. It is called REI FAM. It will be transforming the way you work in the real estate investing industry. And you have not only that, like an amazing community that wants to support and help you, and you can also provide the same. There's calendars, there's a public calendar. You can put all your events on there. You can check out what events are on there. There's groups. There's a profile that you can set up that you can actually share what it is that you do, who you are, and you can show off those beautiful properties that you've been working on or that you're going to be working on. So if you want to get onto REI FAM, it is realestateinvestorfam.com. So get on there, install the app from the website, and get started. Let's have some fun. Now back to the show. On Transformation Time, our guest speakers are here to share with you their personal development journeys, the mindset shifts they've gone through to get to where they are now, and we'll also get to deep dive into the changes they're making right now to get to those big goals that they have, that 5-10-year plan goal. So if you're ready to bring on Sergio, let's send him some hearts, some fire, some thumbs up, and let's get him on the stage. Get him on. Sooner or later, I'm sure Instagram will figure it out, make it work. Let's see. Sergio, oh, I think we got you on. Hi.
Yeah. Hi, Diana. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's nice to have you on. Thanks so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you for the invitation. Happy to be here and share my experience in this wonderful journey as an investor.
Awesome. So let's get started with just telling the viewers a little bit about yourself. How long have you been investing for? What are your real estate strategies? Whatever you would love to share about yourself.
Yeah, sure. Well, I started as in real estate field back in Bolivia. I moved to Canada 15 years ago, and before that, like for about 20 years, with my wife, we used to invest in real estate, usually development. And the last big project that we have in Bolivia before to move in Canada, it was 28 luxury houses in a private condominium. It was a wonderful design, very modern. Uh, we just did great with that project. After that, turns turn things turns quite of difficult in Bolivia. You know, politics, economics. So we decided to move in to Canada, apply for the PR, and once we received, it was the worst scenario in Bolivia. Sadly, I feel really bad saying that about my Bolivia, my country, my roots, but it was the truth. Yes, at that moment it was very difficult be an investor or be a, a a manager over there. Have we used to own three restaurants, two very well known, very famous restaurants in La Paz City, where the city where we from, and we move in Bolivia and thinking just turn our lives very quiet. You know, get a job, retire, get a pension, and live as a in our minds as a Canadian. So we moved here for some years. We were kind of quiet, and this spirit of entrepreneurs always uh,
It
bright.
calls you, right? You can't get
Yeah,
rid of it. It's a calling.
yeah. So we opened some companies. We tried to, well, not try. We opened a company to bring ended products from quinoa quinoa products. It didn't work. We opened a company of chocolates, uh, adding some value to the chocolates. It was okay, but not what we're looking for. Always our entrepreneur life in Bolivia was we always were big projects. So start working as entrepreneur in small projects was not our thing. Yes, and then we decided to we said let's start with real estate in Canada. We found out that doing real estate in Canada was quite different from Bolivia. Lots of regulation, rules, costs, expensive, and um, we start with single family homes. We did like three of them, four, and we said, no, this is too slow. It's still small. And we turned to a multifamily, start with 5+ units, and we got some in Sudbury, one in Moncton, but still slow. Yeah, so we decided to go multifamily 10 unit plus, and we were working on that in Canada. Thanks God, things start going great, and we returned during pandemic. We go back to as everything was almost closed, everything in Canada. We decided to move to Bolivia, our operations, and retake some operations there, and we start building this 7-story building over there, which is considered a big project in La Paz. It is and a very nice neighborhood. And then just because I was talking with, I study a master's degree in Spain, and and I get knowledge that one of my friends was trying, one of my classmates from Spain, 17 years ago. He was trying to get into real estate, so I contact him, and then we start this marvelous project that I told you, it's 60 luxury eco cabins, as we like to call it, eco cabins in Colombia. It's 3 hours from Bogota. Additionally, we have a strategic partnership with another two persons, one in Texas, which we help them to find qualify investors for big projects. Yes, 600, 700 units building. And we have another one in Orlando, in Miami, Orlando, and we are trying to find investors to sell houses, beautiful houses over there. What we're trying to do, always we try to do when it's a project. I don't know why. I don't know why. I cannot tell you. That's that in my mind. There's no reason. We just always are looking for luxury stuff. Yes, and we deal with very nice houses over there, and we are happy that we are doing that. We have offices in Colombia, in Bolivia, here in Canada, and strategic partners in the US. So this has been a beautiful journey, as I told in the beginning.
That's amazing. And it's funny how those things happen where, like you said, you're like, I'm ready to retire, just want to enjoy my life, you
Yeah.
know? But uh, but being an entrepreneur, I think you'll never leave us, right? I'm curious for you, what exactly, um, like when you were young as a kid, before even thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, what made you even start thinking of it? Like, was that your family was also entrepreneurs, or was it like just you saw, like, what happened for you to even think of like, I want to start my own business?
Uh, so happened that my dad was kind of an entrepreneur, but my mom was not. She was the opposite side. Yes, you are gonna lose money. It's too risky. Blah blah blah. And my dad never really had the opportunity to invest. But in the other side, my wife's family, they were always entrepreneurs. They have companies.
Mm.
The father, my father-in-law, had a huge construction company, but he passed when she was 11 years old. So I think when I was single, like I used to do a small business, nothing very serious, just to have extra money to beside my regular job. And when I met Cynthia, she's my wife. I'm married for 30 years now. And when we get together, we think, okay, we coincidentally we have the same spirit. Yes,
Mhm.
she from her father, and her mom used to do a lot of business too, always entrepreneurship. So when we get together, it was like a synergy. Yeah, it
Mhm.
was one plus one was five, 10, I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
And then, yeah, and that's the point when I start looking more seriously to open a company, to be my own boss. And usually people think, okay, I'm tired of working 8 to 5.
Oh, you've been muted. I don't know
The
if you're
end.
getting your call. Oh, sorry. You got.
Oh,
I think you're fine now. Sorry. Can you say that last
I'm
sentence
fine now.
again? Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, I was saying, you usually you think I'm tired of working 8 to 5. I will open my own company, and the end results that you working 24/7 now because
Yeah.
but
But
it's something
generally,
that we
you're
love.
doing what you enjoy. I think what it is
Yeah,
too. You know, it's like I think the time passes is more because you're just loving what you do.
yeah, yeah,
So
and
curious for
always
you,
sorry.
what type of I was just saying curious for you, what were like the skills that you had that you felt made you a good entrepreneur? And even if you want to feel like this, basically, it sounds like you and your wife went in together. Curious on how even together compatible, like how you guys work together in a business. 'Cause like you said, 'cause you guys came together and it became like 10, 20x, right? So clearly you guys had like really good, probably like skills that just helped each other out to build out such a good business.
I think I think um, we came to the point that as you say, we have, I think, similar skills, or I don't know exactly if you can consider these skills, but both of us have a high tolerance to risk, which I think it's the main point when you are trying to open your own business. Yes, people
Hmm.
start suffering since the beginning because the relationship with the money is different that I think myself and my wife have right now, and even my business partner and my brother Javier, we have this high tolerance that let me explain a little bit. My relationship with money, I think, is different from another people. Yes, I think that money is just a paper. There are more important things that you have to be worried about. I usually, let me tell you this, when I bought my first restaurant, uh, we were walking around and we saw a beautiful house. And I said, my wife, I want this house, and I want to move the restaurant to this house. It was very beautiful. So I rang the bell, and a lady opened the door. I said, "Do you want to sell your house?" And she said, "No, but I can start thinking about. So can we pass and we chat about this?" And I make an offer with zero money in my account
Hmm.
because we spent almost all our money acquiring the restaurant, and I closed the deal. And when we got out of the house, we thought, okay, now it's time to plan from where we are getting the money to get the house.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
and that's the relationship that I'm trying to transmit to my kids, and what I'm trying to do every day. Yes,
That's a great
it's
point.
different.
And I think
Yeah.
that probably is a lot for a lot of true entrepreneurs. They do see money differently than they do than let's say the general public. You know, like kind of the same. I feel that I see money differently. That to me, like that, like people with this thing like, oh, I need to save the money, or oh, like it's like so valuable or
Yeah,
something. And I'm just kind of like, that $20 bill probably costs like $1. Like to me, it's like that's what you're saying, right? It's like paper money, and it's more like it's there to help you transact. And then so
yeah,
I'm like, what am I going to transact? And it's like, what do I want to do that is like fun for me, and like that same thing. And I feel like entrepreneur is like, what kind of problem can I solve, or what can I do that's creative? And then you're investing your time in it, and obviously money. So I think you're right. I feel like money for a lot of people, if anything, blocks them. Like you said, you bought the house with $0. I'm sure not zero zero, but basically zero compared to the amount of the house in the bank account. Whereas other people would not even ask the question because they're like looking at their bank account first.
yeah.
They're like, I have no money, so why am I even talking about a house? Whereas, especially that creativity in an entrepreneur is, oh, I want to do this. What do I need to do to make that happen? It's the questions are very different with entrepreneurs. What do you think?
Yes, and one of another skills that I think I have, it's that I don't know how to say in one word. I consider myself make things done. Yes, I do what I have to do. I I don't just make decisions, I take actions. And when I teach entrepreneurship in a volunteer program from the city in Toronto, and I teach entrepreneurship in a university in Bolivia, and I always tell my students the business idea is 80%, okay? And execution is 15%. 5% is just money. You will, if you look enough, ask, walk, you know, you will finally will get the money. But the
Mm-hmm.
hard thing is get your idea and then execute it. Because there are people who has the money, they have the idea, but they are thinking, okay, as you said, I am waiting for the proper conditions to start my business. I don't
Mm-hmm.
have enough money. I don't have the location. I don't, and you are um, all the time saying next year, next year. Even if you have the money or you have the idea, I think one is that is one of my skills that I can make things happen, and that's why I always
Action
advise to
taker.
my students. Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah, I
action
love that.
taker.
That is so very, very important. You're exactly right. Because a lot of people think is like, oh my God, for example, again, your example of the house, buying the house in the restaurant. Oh my God, I have to buy a house from the restaurant. But breaking it down smaller steps, right? Where it's like, okay, I need to find the money, or I need to find, or even smaller, whatever it is. But it's like, what is the step that I need to take to move forward? Maybe it's asking questions about, let's say, the property, or about like telling people, maybe getting advice from people, like, where do you think I can get money from? You know, would people be interested in investing in the restaurant? Maybe I get money that way. It's like you start asking questions, and then people tell you things, and then your questions start transforming, and then your actions start transforming. Because maybe the beginning of how you plan to do it is very different to the way you actually end up executing, because people tell you things to help you move forward to getting what you want. What do you think of that? Or how do you feel like things move forward for you?
Um, I think that have the capability to focus in the future. It's a good skill too. Yes. As I tell you, I always have in my heart that that's very well known in Canada, go big or go home.
Mm.
Yes, because for myself, a big project in means less problems than small projects. Yes,
Mhm.
let's say, and you know that if you have a fourplex, you have more problems than having a 20 unit building.
Mhm.
Yes. So
100%.
yeah. So if you can focus enough in the future, and start executing right now, taking action right now. For sure, the goal that you want to reach will come. I'm not saying will come soon if you start executing now or acting today, but for sure will be a reality in the future. That I think that the usually when your business is not going well, people start losing focus. They start
Mhm.
doing they start doing another stuff that bring them just pennies to the budget, to the home. Yes,
Mhm.
and lose control and lose focusing in what's happening in the future, what they want initially. So I
Mhm.
think if people can maintain this focus in what they really want more than need. I think there's difference because in when you say I need this, that I want this.
Mhm.
Yes, I
Mhm.
need money to pay my bills, but I don't want to have money to pay my bills. I want to have money for what? For helping my family, traveling, enjoying life with my kids, with my wife. That's it. That's for me is the main difference when you said I need that I want.
Mhm. I love it. And you pointed out something that I would love to hear your opinion on. Is you said like that when things go wrong, I hear you. I think focus is key. So what kind of views what kind of points do you have for the viewers to help them when things are going wrong, and obviously towards your life of like what you do to help maintain that focus?
There are three main things that I do every day. Yes. First, I think it's very important to learn from leaders. Yes, not just business leaders, because I love to read Warren Buffett or Donald Trump. They are bright minds in business. But for example, I am in the process of reading Mahatma Gandhi biography. I read George Bush. I read several business and politicians biographies that I can learn with. Yes, for me it's important because when you read Barack Obama and how was his presidency, all the process that he has passing through during the years, it's fascinating. And there are things that, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this in this situation. That's one thing. Second thing that I usually do is learn about motivation. Yes, I love Tony Robbins. There are several in Spanish and speaking speakers and Spanish speakers that I really like to read. Um, I try not to miss any minute in my life. So when I'm driving, when I'm doing something really boring at the computer, I always hearing an audiobook, a motivational audiobook. Yes, because when I'm reading about business or biographies, I need to be more focused in what I'm reading. But when it's motivational, everything is easier to hear or to read. So I
Mhm.
do a lot of that, and I do in the morning and usually before night. I try to do this practice these exercises of concentration that help me. Usually, sometimes I have too much issues in my life. Uh, uh, help me to sleep well, or when I just wake up, it's just a 5 minutes meditation exercise, which I practice from what's this book? I will remember the title after. So it's
Mhm.
5 minutes concentration exercise that if I have a bad night, will help me to improve my inner Sergio. Says, okay, this will be a great day because when you have a bad night, you just get mad and say, oh, what the heck. But
Mhm.
that helped me to change my mood and then start focusing what I want because this exercise, Silva method,
What is it
Silva method,
called?
Silva method.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
it
really wanted to
yeah, it's
look
very
into
well
that.
known. Yeah, they have exercises when you are thinking solutions, when you are thinking ideas. They have different exercise. I love to practice that and help me to be in a better mood and sometimes during these exercises I have find new solutions or things that I can do when I just thinking that the deal is closed, the deal is bad. That helped me a lot. These three things have helped me to be always, like going to the gym. I try to work out, but I am not always successful in this. But it's like that for me. Yeah, I have to
Mhm.
learn. I have to motivate myself, and I have to meditate to find out what I want or whatever. You can use
Mhm.
meditation.
Yeah, I love it. I think that's amazing. Those are great tips for the viewers because you basically prepare your mind to be prepared for the day to, like you said, make it a successful day. Because it is very true. If you're in a bad mood, you like I feel like it's just everything that comes up are things that are probably not very helpful to you compared to when you're in a better mood. It's like your perspective changes. Your eyes are looking for different things when you depending on the mood you're in. Um,
Yes,
so I think that I love that because that's true. And it keeps I think when you're in a better mood, you're more open to see things too, to see like where the opportunity is or where the solution is to, to solving the problems that you're having, which is very important. I feel like once you start becoming negative, it also you start shutting yourself down because you're like, oh, I can't do this. So if you're telling
exactly.
yourself you can't, of course you won't be able to do it because you're not even
Yeah,
trying to look for a solution.
yeah. I always remember one advice that my father gave me when I was a kid, and I don't know from where he read that, but he said, if you have a problem and is there a solution, what are you worried about? If
Mhm.
doesn't have a solution, why you worry about? So what? Just try to be happy. And sometimes in my life, some people thought that I was not taking some issue or problem seriously because I still just playing and joking. And people said, "Can you please be serious about that?" I said, "I'm being serious, but I'm more focusing than you because I have the capability to maintain my mood. And in this mood, the circulation of blood in my brain is better. Yeah, so I will be more useful for you in this problem, in this company, if I'm in this mood." And well, people usually think that I don't take seriously anything, but
No, but it's really good actually because basically you're saying that you have like a high emotional intelligence, and
yes,
that ability to be able to regulate your emotions is so important to be able to do the things that you want because it is true. When you're angry, you're upset about something, like your ears, it's like your ears just turn off completely, you know? You're just like,
yeah,
you don't hear nothing, you're just angry. And what are you doing? You're just, if anything, like torturing yourself, no? Because it's like you're angry and you're doing this, you can't hear anything. Someone can be screaming at you, you don't even know what they're saying because you're just so angry and you're also probably screaming back. And it's like, where is it going? You know, it's like that emotional intelligence is so important.
yeah. Yeah, and it's something that um, even though will help you with your family, yeah, because when you are mad, you transmit this negative energy to your surroundings. Yes, and
And you feel that even when you see someone else that's angry, you feel that anger. And either you become angry or you want to leave it. And you're just like, oh God. I was like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to let you deal with it and disappear, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. I practice that, Diana. When I see somebody in bad mood, I say, "Okay, see you later, bye." I
Me
just leave.
too.
I don't need bad energy in my life.
Yeah. Oh, I completely agree. And it's like that because you realize it does affect you. And so you
Yes.
want to keep that distance or stop it in whatever way you can. And sometimes it's just leaving completely. Sometimes I feel like you just let them know, are you okay? And then they'll switch. But other times it's just like, I'll let you do your thing.
Yeah, no, it's always one try. Yes, can I help you with something? Okay, no need
Yeah.
for that. Bye.
Exactly, exactly. With all your life experiences that you've had, what would you say has been the biggest transformation, the biggest mind shift that you've seen happen in yourself?
Uh, I grew up in a very strict environment in my home. Uh, Always everything was black or white. I'm not saying that that was bad because I am very, I do all my stuff in a very ordered manner. You know, I have my ways to do, and it's hard to me to change those ways. But doing business with all kinds of people, and I have learned that you cannot be black or white. Sometimes one skill of a good leader is the adaptability. Yes, you have to be adaptable and you have to be teachable. Yes,
Mhm.
you have to open your mind and be aware that you can learn new stuff and you can change this to get a better result, a better ending. Yes. And that's something that I have been changing during the years because I learned in a hard way that that was not correct. Being just black and white and not having the opportunity to learn something from others when I thought he has or she has nothing to teach me. I was wrong. Several times I was wrong. So when I changed that, I think that my life in my family, in the business start improving because I am more adaptable and more teachable now.
I love that. Yeah. And I think even at least the example you gave, you start also, it seems like you started building like empathy. You could kind of see other people's point of view, which also I feel like helps you to accept certain things, like you said, because it's like you start view other people's perspective, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, okay, that's maybe what works for me definitely isn't going to work for you because the view is different.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's something that you have to practice every day, and the advice that I always give is you have to be conscious about your changes because you when you say I have changed, but other people doesn't say anything about your changes, so you are not
Mhm.
changing. But when you take consciousness about what are you doing, you are gonna start practicing what are you always say you are doing.
Mhm.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's a big difference for me. And
I
people will
love that.
start
That's
saying,
actually
yeah,
very a good example. If people say that you're changing, then you are actually changing. Because we're very good at convincing ourselves, right? So
yeah,
the true, what is it? Like our true belief is when someone tells us that it is what it is, right?
yeah,
That's true. It's very funny actually. So when when I was a kid too, I had a very black and white mentality. And I don't know, maybe different than what you're saying though. But then, like you said, like I started working in the corporate world, and mine was like black and white, like that. Like there was no gray zone at all. Going into the corporate world, going into consulting, all of a sudden it's like black and white disappeared, and all there was gray. But
yeah,
then now, actually, what's very interesting that's happening to me is that I'm actually starting to go back to the black and white kind of situation. But if it makes sense, only within me. Like I feel that like let's say like if you do something that's good good. I don't, whatever it is that you do, like there's no judgments. People are different. But then I feel like I'm becoming very like black and white for myself. You know, like I want to do this, I want to do that. These are the only options, like for certain things with me, which I find very interesting because it's like I was like very black. Like to give you an example, when I was a kid, I was I was like a high performance athlete. So I was very in
Oh,
shape. And I think that's probably another reason why it's very black and white for me, probably, was because when you're in like these kind of professional disciplines, I feel like it's like oh, go, go, go or whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Remember this kid is just like, how are you so thin? And I feel bad for her saying this now, but I was just like, just stop eating. Like that's all you have to do, you know? So my view is where, and to be honest, now going back to things, I feel like it is technically that, but I was like, but again, I would never say that to a person because there's so much more, right? It's like mental things that are going on in your head. But, but like I was very like, you just do this, you know, that's all it is. You just do that, that's all it is. Whereas, but for example, with me, I feel like I'm starting to, for myself, I go back into this like like yes no type of situation or black white type of situation, which I find very funny. So it's very interesting that you were saying that because I'm like yeah, it's like in a self discovery type of phase right now.
Yes. Yeah.
So now going into the future, if you would love to share your big goals that you have, like the 5, 10 year goals, if you'd want to share it, but also really talking about what are the changes that you're making right now to achieve those big goals, your big future goals that you have for yourself?
Uh, Initially, our big goal for the company was to acquire as many apartment buildings as we want. Uh, but I don't know why our operations has moved to South America, and we have lived a little bit Canada. We have more options in the States, but we are more focused now in developing South America, in Colombia and Bolivia. This 60 unit project in Colombia will take us like 5 years, and we'll need a lot of focusing energy and that stuff. We are traveling in 3 weeks for almost 3 weeks to check the project, and we are visiting another city in Cartagena. We have a wedding there, and uh, this will be a normal kind of life for me going back and forward from Colombia because of the big project. We have the desire to develop more in Bolivia, even though the things are kind of strange right now. But we believe that I don't know, probably something that in the deep of the bottom of our hearts that it's calling us to Bolivia. Um, in After 5 years, I think we will focus again in Canadian market. Our main networking environments here in Canada, so that for sure will help us to come back stronger than before. I'm not saying that we are not doing anything in Canada, but we are our all our energy is focused in Colombia and Bolivia right now. How I see myself in 10 years? Well, uh, starting new projects of developing. It's a field that we tasted. It's a taste that we tasted before in Bolivia because you as I am very creative person. So for me, put this energy of creation in new houses, and we can do this, we can do that. Lots of ideas going around. It's very beautiful for me. I think I really enjoy that. So I see myself developing more projects, and of course, we want to focus in developing some projects for poor people in Bolivia and Colombia. We already start with a small school in Colombia, close where will be our project. We are raising money for that. and but I want to transfer that to Bolivia too. Yes, there are lots of people who needs help. Bolivia is considered the second poorest country in South America, so people over there needs a lot of help. But I wish I can have the focus, can focus enough to be a big chunk of my time and energy developing projects for poor people in Bolivia and Colombia, and the other 60% just continue making business to support financially the project that I have aside. I see myself
Mhm.
in that way.
I love that. That's a great goal. That's very exciting. And with the moving there, even when you came here and going back, I feel like you actually go back quite often, so probably not so much of a difference. But moving here was that a very big change for you, even mentally?
So, do you mean, sorry, I
Moving
think I didn't.
moving to Canada, when you came here to Canada, was that because obviously, like you said, the countries are very, very different. Was that a big change for you?
When I
Like,
just
was that
moved,
hard for you to change?
oh yeah, moving to Canada was, and when we arrived here was a big change. Yes, we were coming from at that time, the biggest country in Bolivia, the biggest city in Bolivia, and we arrived to Moncton, New Brunswick, we had 75,000 people, from 2 million to 75,000 people. That was a big change for us. And when I travel to Bolivia for business, it's always lovely to see the family and see friends. I enjoy the food, but after some weeks, I start feeling that I need to come back to my home. Yes, I am very proud to be a Bolivian. I always in my house there's always Bolivian music and Bolivian meals. Uh, we are trying to transmit that Bolivian culture to my kids. They love Bolivia. They travel a lot over there. But after some weeks in Colombia or in Bolivia, I start feeling that that's not my home anymore. Yes,
Mm.
Canada gave us a lot, myself, my wife, my kids. We have received a lot from Canada. We love this country. I am proud to call myself a Canadian too. So I feel that doesn't matter which country I can do business, always I will love to come back to Canada because I have my kids here, my family, and now my whole family is here. My whole no family, my whole life is here. I came from big families from my side and my wife's side, more than 100 people in each family. But the life, the style, the how can we live here in Canada is what we were looking for. So no reason to change that. I love to travel,
Also,
but
even though you have your projects in Bolivia and in Colombia, you will just be going there for short times and then coming back. It's
yeah,
not that you're going to stay there for
yeah,
5 years and then come back.
yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That's
Okay.
nice.
Yeah, I will not live in Colombia for 5 years. It's just going back and coming back. It's because my wife works for the government, for the immigration, for ministry. It's really hard for her to take vacations. And from the kind of family that we come, we are very family oriented.
Mm-hmm,
Yes, and
mm-hmm.
even though I don't see my kids every day, I always need to check on them, talk to them, because we were grown that way, and I'm sure my kids feel the same need to talk with me. So
Mm-hmm.
I cannot, I think I cannot be away from my family a long time. I am
Yeah.
I am very family close. Yeah.
But it's great that then you have that confidence to be able to work on your projects in Colombia and Bolivia far away because a lot of people find that can be stressful. What do you do? Yeah, what do you do to kind of reduce that stress for yourself so that because we know one of them is traveling and doing the project, but I'm sure you're not going to be going very often. That like how in between times, like what tips do you have for the viewers when they are working on projects that are far away?
Um, Happen that we look for a strong partners, business partners in another countries. This my partner in Colombia, Rodrigo. He's very focused person. We are almost the same, but he's Colombian. I am from Bolivia. Yes, we our business style is the same,
Hmm.
so
And I
there's no
believe you
problem.
said you met him when you went to school, right? When you were in university, you said that's the one you
Yes,
met in
yeah,
Spain.
he was my classmate in
Mhm.
Spain when we were studying a master degree. So in Bolivia is the same. For example, in Bolivia, besides other projects, we work with short-term rentals and mostly using Airbnb platform. So my partner over there is Carmencita, and she's a very strong person. She is very business oriented. She has a great experience in the corporate environment. So for me, it's no issues of trusting her, and because I know that all the education, the work experience that she acquired during these years. Uh, uh, for sure she will make always good decisions. I am I am not I don't have this micromanagement style. Yes, so for me it's easier to delegate things and just once in a while talk and say what they're doing. For sure, for Colombia, I will need to travel a little bit more, but not because I don't trust in my partner over there. It's because there's the need to check some stuff in person. Yes, and in the States, it's the same. I have strong partners, business partners there, and in real estate, a big chunk of this kind of life is trusting people.
Hmm.
Yes,
Hmm.
if you
Yeah,
don't trust, don't do business in real estate because it's a business that you cannot control everything. There are many factors that you don't have control. So
100%.
don't add problems or issues to your back, saying that I don't. If you don't trust, just don't do business in real estate.
Hmm. I completely agree with you with that. That and another thing I've been experiencing because I started a business now. One of our team members is also, which I had to tell him to stop doing this, which he was very good actually. He stopped this. Also talking badly about your team members, like always complaining.
Yeah,
I don't like that within a team at all because it's like you just start creating a negativity between the team if you're always talking badly about the other team. And generally, if they're telling you bad things about every other team, they're also talking to those people badly about everything, and you're one of those too, you know. And I remember that was like one thing that I noticed in this. I was like, no more. I was like, you can't like stop complaining about your team members. I'm like, you're breaking the union the team aspect because then all of a sudden people start getting grudges with each other.
yeah. Did you ever hear about J.T. Fox?
JT Fox, yeah.
Yeah, I attend two or three conferences from him, and I read some books from him, and he always said, always work with the best people.
Mm-hmm.
If you notice that somebody is not the best, just let it go. It's
Mm-hmm.
easier and it's cheaper, because
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. And so I always try to do that, even though it's hard to say somebody goodbye. I have to let you go, as very Canadian style. I have to let you go. You don't say it. You are fired.
Please, you have to leave.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but I prefer to do that in the beginning of the relationship, the commercial relationship, and don't wait until the things are really hard. If I notice that
Mhm.
somebody will not be helpful, really helpful for the organization, so they have to leave. There's no other options. I'm probably in this point, I am like you, black and white. Yes, if it's not
Mhm.
the best, I don't want it. Even though
Mhm.
if it will be more expensive to work with these people, I need because JT Fox also said, okay, when you are getting a marketing company to work for you with your company, people always try to get the cheapest quote, for
Mhm.
and he said, no, you have to get the bigger ones, the companies, the marketing companies that can prove you they are successful in what they do. Will
Mhm.
be will the expense will be higher, yes, but you are getting more results than just getting the cheapest marketing company. And I try to apply this and my when I'm using another services or when I working with people.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great tip, and I completely agree with you. Especially in the real estate investing world, I think people love to, especially the new investors, love to cheap out with their contractors. And then you're always hearing disaster stories because when you do cheap, you get cheap work.
That's true. No, that is. Yeah, and it's the same. And probably you'll pass the same experience with with agents,
Hmm.
real estate agents. There's a lot, and there's people that they want you just to close the deal. They they don't get if you are getting a good deal or whatever. Let's send an offer. Let's send an offer. Let's send an offer. I have changed real estate agents several times.
Hmm.
Yes, because I need somebody that can take care of me, not
Yeah.
about their commission or whatever it is.
Yes, I totally agree. Yeah. We see it in all different fields where it's just like if they're only there to make money, it's just like that doesn't help anyone.
Yeah, and I never negotiate a commission. They said 6%. Okay, prove me that
You're
you worth 6%.
worth,
I
yeah.
will not tell you no too high. Prove me, and I will
Yeah.
pay you.
That's funny you say that. I'm the same way, and it's funny when I do my analysis. I remember I was doing my analysis for someone, and they were like, actually, it happened to be 6%, and I put 6% for the commission, and and then the person's like, "Why would you do 6%? I can get it for 4." And I was just like, I first of all want my numbers to at least be padded. And like you said, if I find someone for 6% and I know they're going to sell that property for me and they're going to get the job done, they deserve that money and they get it. If I find someone else that happens to be less, maybe it's 5%, 4%, fine, but like
Go
again,
and
like you
get it.
said, like
Yeah,
they have to prove that they're there, and it's just everyone's always thinking of the cheapest, the cheapest, the cheapest, and I'm like,
yeah,
no, for me it's the quality, the quality, the quality.
yeah. That's true. And usually people, entrepreneurs, learn that lesson in the hard way. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. Especially the newer investors, they always have their disaster stories.
Yeah,
They
cheap
went cheap.
lawyers.
Yeah, they went
Yeah,
cheap and then this happened. They went cheap and then that happened. And it's just like, for me, if anything, as a new investor, I think new investors should actually probably be paying the most because you want to make sure, I mean, not the most, but I mean, they're going to be putting probably a lot more time into you. You pay them for that, because you're probably going to have a lot of questions. At least I know as a new investor, I would be asking lots of questions. I would want to like them to be happy getting paid for what they do well, and also that happiness that they're going to be answering my questions, that I have a full understanding of it, because as an investor we have to know a lot more than the average person in construction, as lawyers speaks, like
yeah.
making sure you have the right
That's
clauses in. making your accounting is right, depending on the kind of corporations. Like we have to know so much more than the regular person. So I'm going to be asking like so many more questions to make sure I'm making the best decisions for myself. So I feel like new investors should be probably paying a higher rate anyways because it's counting, to be honest, to your education because you have to ask a lot of questions. And if you go cheap, normally cheap doesn't know what they're doing and they're going to give you the super basic stuff and what are you going to learn from it anyways, all the mistakes at the end anyways, what you paid for over probably 10 times worse
Exactly.
anyway.
Yeah, exactly. That always happens. Yes, cheap services, cheap results. It's always the same. Yes.
Yeah. Sergio, thank you so much for coming on. It was so much fun to chat with you. If you guys love what you heard from Sergio, he will be tagged on here, so you'll be able to see what he's up to, DM him. Also, he's created his REFAM profile, so if you want to learn more about Sergio, then you can definitely go on to REFAM. It will also be in the comments, in the caption. And if you guys love what you heard from me, same thing, follow me. You'll also see my profile on ReFan if you want to learn more about me. Sergio, thank you so much for coming on.
Jana, it was a total pleasure be here, and I hope you get the best, and we will see soon. We will see
Awesome.
soon.
100%. Thank
Okay, have a
you.
nice
Bye,
day. Bye.
Sergio. Bye,
Bye.
everyone. See you all in the next episode.